This is going to be a very controversial video. And to be honest, I don't care if you like or subscribe, but I do care if you share it with someone. If this hit you, even a little, share it with someone. Help me get this to someone who might still be in the dark. This was a light bulb moment for me, and maybe it will be the same for someone else too. Poor people think being frugal will make them rich. They believe this so deeply. They don't just avoid luxury goods, they start skipping meals. They eat the cheapest, lowest nutrient food. They ignore pain, delay checkups, and sacrifice rest, all in the name of getting ahead. But years go by, and somehow they are still stuck, no closer to freedom, no closer to stability, because they overlook the most valuable thing in human history: time. Every person wakes up with 24 hours. It doesn't matter if you are broke or a billionaire. What matters is how those hours are spent and what gets sacrificed. The poor often sacrifice their time to save money, but they rich spend money to protect their time. Here's what I mean. A man wakes up hungry. He opens the fridge and sees half a loaf of bread. He eats it. No protein, no balanced diet, no real fuel. Not because he wants to, but because pasta sauce will cost $5 and he's trying to save. Now he's sluggish. His stomach grows all morning. He can't even focus. The ideas he wanted to work on got pushed to the side, and he forgot to call his boss back. He skipped the online course he planned to study from. And just like that, his whole afternoon drifted by, running on fumes, all to save $5. But those 2 hours, they lost energy that could have been worth $100 next month, or an open door he didn't even know existed. Instead, he traded real opportunity for extra bills in his pocket. And the irony, that $5 won't even be $5 next year. Inflation will make it free, maybe less. But the lost time, gone, for good. I had this realization a few years ago, and it changed how I see everything. Every minute spent worrying about problems you could have solved is a minute you can't use to build, rest, or move forward. Worrying isn't always bad. If your mom's in a hospital, even if she's under the best care, you will still worry. That's human. But skipping meals to save money and feeling anxious all day about why you are getting nothing done, that's different. That's self-inflicted stress. Same with the lingering headache you never checked out because a consultation would cost $70. It turns into something bigger. Now you have lost days, maybe weeks, just to avoid spending money that meant to protect you in the first place. Frugality becomes a trap, not because it's bad, but because it's misused. There are only 3 things I believe you should never be frugal with: food, health, and shelter. These are not luxuries. They are your foundation. Food gives you focus, health keeps you moving, shelter gives you peace of mind. And no, I'm not talking about a trendy downtown apartment in dim lights and imported wool pajamas. I mean a stable place to stay, where you are not freezing in winter or anxious about rain every month. Basic, clean, yours. When these 3 things are in place, everything else becomes optional. Your car, it just needs to take you from point A to B. Your clothes, comfortable and weather appropriate. Your phone, something that works. You don't need to impress anyone. You need to function. And you need to protect your energy, because that energy is what creates everything else. One of the biggest mistakes people make is misunderstanding that money is actually for comfort. They think money is for spending, for buying things. But really, money exists to buy back time. Some days I wake up late. Instead of rushing out, I order a taxi. It costs more than the bus. but it buys me calm, and that calms let me think, plan, and show up better. That's what money does for the rich. It steals their time. It opens their mornings. It lets them hire help, outsource stress, and stay focused on the bigger picture. The poor end up doing the opposite. They spend hours to save cents. They skip sleep, skip meals, skip rest, just to hold on to small amounts of money. But they burn the time they need to grow. Here's a quote from the philosopher Seneca that stuck with me. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy with. We cut our wallets, but we spend our time like it's nothing. Frugality isn't evil, but it can turn into self-harm when applied in the wrong places. Saving money only makes sense when it helps you move faster, think clearer, or sleep easier. If saving $20 means you lose 3 days of momentum, that's not a win. That's bleeding out in slow motion. It's like using a pencil down to the last splinter just to save wood. At some point, it stops writing. And that's what happens when frugality becomes obsession. You cut so much, there's nothing left to build with. If you want to change your life, start by securing the essentials. Eat enough to stay focused, sleep enough to recover, get checkups before things go bad. Live somewhere that gives your mind room to breathe. Feasts are not luxuries. They are survival tools for your ambition. Once they are in place, you don't have to think about them again, and your energy is finally free to go somewhere useful. Naval Ravikant said it best: trade money for time, not time for money. You are going to run out of time first. The richest people in the world aren't rich because they are cheap. They are rich because they spend money where it matters and save time for what counts. Being poor isn't always a choice, but staying trapped in poverty thinking often is. I'm not trying to blame anyone, because this isn't about blaming. It's about awareness. It's about shifting how we see effort and energy. Frugality is a tool. Use it, but don't turn it into a cage. And whatever you do, never save at the cost of your mind, your body, or your peace. Because when your body is full, your mind is rested, and your shelter is secure, that's when you start building things that money alone could never buy. Start there. The rest will follow. Thanks for listening.